Hi everyone, my name is Madison and I'm the Media Communications Executive here at the Business Software Center. We offer our Coffee Talk TBSC, which is our free webinar series, and today's Coffee Talk is on total cost of ownership for Microsoft 365. Just remember, if you ever need to get in contact with me, please use the hashtag CoffeeTalkTBSC on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or YouTube, or you can always email me at info@businesssoftwarecenter.com. All right, so let's just go ahead and dive right into today's lesson on total cost of ownership, or TCO. So TCO is essentially the cost and maintenance of an asset. So we can look at software, particularly Microsoft 365 for this example. So whenever you look at Microsoft 365, you're going to look at the purchase price, but you're also going to analyze the maintenance or the operating costs of having that software. You're also going to look at the lifespan of that asset in order to determine the long-term value of what you're paying for to help with your return on investment. So for Microsoft 365, you might either look at an EA or a CSP. EA is the contract version of subscription. The contract version where you might pay 3 years or 5 years in advance for Microsoft licenses, whereas a CSP is a cloud-based model where you pay month to month and you can flex your subscribers up or down. When you look at the cost of Microsoft 365, you will also need to factor in compliance costs. Say, for instance, you're under licensed and you're using a whole bunch of licenses you haven't paid for. That affects the compliance, which means you would have to pay back fees or penalty fees if Microsoft performs an audit on you. And then when there's growth to your business, you might have to factor in costs of obtaining more licenses because you're adding more employees to your team. Then you have the add-on products. So for instance, if you use Microsoft Teams and to better the team's communications, you might want to pay for headsets, better quality microphones, something like that. So you might want to factor in some add-ons to your licenses. And then of course, the usage is something you should factor in as well, because if you're paying for all these features of Microsoft 365, you might as well be using all of them. The main example I like to give is Microsoft Teams. We found that some of our customers use Google, Skype, even Zoom for calls and meetings and stuff, and they're not really taking advantage of everything included in their license. So these are just some of the costs that you might consider for paying for Microsoft 365 subscription. So how do you track and monitor these costs? Well, you can do that through procurement and cost management. So depending on who you have involved in your business, maybe you're a big business and you have IT procurement. Maybe you're a small business and perhaps your IT department does it all, including procurement. Sometimes cost management can be overlooked. Sometimes cost management doesn't align with company goals. So these are different ways of how you can kind of track and monitor procurement and cost management by organizing business purchases. You need to analyze your business needs. Of course, you need to manage your contracts. And you need to make invoice payments, and you need to manage your spend. So how exactly do you do all that? Well, the procurement and cost management of Microsoft 365 subscriptions needs to be addressed in the following ways. First is reharvesting. So with reharvesting, subscriptions are those which have not been used and could be reallocated or canceled in order to control costs. So this means, say for instance, you have a freelancer who no longer works for your company. What you can do is use that freelancer's Microsoft 365 and reharvest to a new freelancer that joins your business. So this process will aid both in cost control and security by ensuring people leaving the organization no longer have access to IT systems and data once they have left. So the second piece of information you should follow when looking at procurement and cost management is optimization of your licenses. And so the subscription and this analysis are based on active users who are not using all the facilities of their subscription type. So this goes back to the idea of customers not using their Microsoft Teams whenever it's included with the 365 subscription. So it's wasting a part of the value of the subscription. So by optimizing, you can address the users and help them use their full facilities, or Instead of doing that, you can help train them to help them learn the applications, or you can actually downgrade their subscription to a lower cost type that meets their needs. So rather than overspending and having a few extra apps, say you can move to an E3 to an E1. The third way that you can cost manage your licenses is through surplus. And so these subscriptions are those which are being paid for but not being provisioned for users. So an example of this is, say, you had an idea that you were going to hire 10 more people onto the team. And so you purchased an extra 10 licenses just in case. Well, it turns out maybe plans changed and you're no longer having those new employees start at that particular date. And so now you have a surplus of licenses. So now you have a surplus of 10 that you aren't using, but you're paying for. And so what you can do is you can either deploy that to other users, or you can cancel it for the cost savings. And I would say you can particularly do this if you are on a CSP model. It's a lot easier than an EA, just because with CSP, you have the option of flexing your subscribers up and down each month, rather than an EA where you're kind of locked into like a 3-year contract. So what is our advice? Well, we have a lot of advice when it comes to tracking and monitoring Microsoft 365 with cost control. And so we have a guide to cost control with our managed services guide. This guide is for free download on our website. So I would say check that out, get an idea of what can be done. But I would say our biggest piece of advice is definitely start automating your software asset management. And you can do that pretty easily through a managed service provider, a cloud service provider, and through our product, Smarter SaaS. Our Smarter SaaS has been proven to help increase usage, optimize your Microsoft 365, and we of course help with the surplus issues and the reharvesting issues as well. And we can look over the past 180 days and see what has been going on with your company. We can help you set goals, and then we help track and monitor and make sure that those goals are achieved in the future. So yes, I would say definitely check out our health check guide. Like I said, everything comes together with our Smarter SaaS solution, and we do offer the free health check or the efficiency health check. This is a 30-day health check for you, where we kind of benchmark where you're currently at. Usually we see when we do these health checks is an efficiency score of 50% or less. It's pretty bad. That means you're in the red, you're not doing too well. And our goal as a business is to help get you in the green, help you get at least 95% efficient. So I would say if you're interested in getting our free health check, you can find that on businesssoftwarecenter.com under our free trial booking, and we can get you set up with that today. All right, and at this time, I'm just going to go ahead and see if we have any questions coming in. This is a pretty easy session on cost control and management. Let me go ahead and see. At this time, I do not have any questions coming in, and that's quite all right. So as I mentioned earlier, if you ever need to get in contact with me, please use the hashtag CoffeeTalkTBSC, or you can email me info@businesssoftwarecenter.com. I really hope that this was a quick informational video on how to get yourself better in cost control with your Microsoft 365. All right, I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Thanks. Bye.